The Principality of Monaco, home to many of the world's rich and famous. But for one weekend a year, the streets become home to one of the world's most celebrated and illustrious motorsport events, the Monaco Grand Prix.
To having a Grand Prix in Monaco it's an absolutely fantastic thing, and obviously, of course, it's very important for Monaco to have Grand Prix here because it brings a lot of people, a lot of tourists, beautiful boats, great atmosphere. It would be quite difficult to actually explain somebody, yes, there is a racetrack somewhere there on the Monaco streets.
Monaco definitely has to be my favourite circuit, mainly because you have absolutely no room for error. You don't have runoff areas like on other circuits. If you make a slight mistake, you're into the wall. So it's all about being on the limit, but just on the limit and never over it. And the last 2 years I've been racing there in Formula 3 and GP2. I've won all the races there.
The progression is important to start lower formulas, not only how to learn to drive, but also how to work inside in a team, because it's a complicated process. You have to motivate everybody, you have to be a team player. So when you are progressing and you go step by step different formulas, you learn all the time, you develop.
It is quite amazing when you're driving through the tunnel and knowing that all the greats have driven through there in a Formula 1 car. And now knowing this year I'm going to be driving there is just, it's going to be unreal. It's going to be unreal.
One of the most spectacular experiences what the driver can have is when you come out of the tunnel. You're coming from the dark tunnel, suddenly bright sunshine, because your speed is really reaching like 300 kilometers per hour, very close to that speed. You come down the hill to the left hand, a very tight chicane. Very exciting, very difficult, and you are so close to barriers all the time, very, very close.
To be the quickest, you have to touch each barrier. And I think not many people notice that, but you almost have to touch every barrier, and that's basically using every inch of the circuit. And it's very, very tough to do that. You touch it too much, you lose the wheel. So it's all about just brushing the barrier each time, then you've maximised the corner, you've used absolutely every inch, and it's going to be a good time.
The street circuit is always very difficult because the track is very dirty, so it's very slippery all the time, so it's difficult to get the balance to the car. And it's very bumpy, a lot of camber changes which makes driving difficult. You have lines painted, everything, it's very difficult, street circuit.
And after winning at Monaco for the last 2 seasons in Formula 3, then GP2, and with his early season Formula 1 results, the big question is, how will Lewis Hamilton handle the demands of the famous tight street circuit with the extra power of his Vodafone McLaren Mercedes MP4 22?
I think going to Monaco, the most exciting part about driving in the Formula 1 car will be after the first corner, going up the hill at 280 kilometers an hour. Knowing that you're in a Formula 1 car, you've got the quick shift, the engine is 19,000 RPM. And also going through the swimming pool, it's extremely quick. You come into there, I think it's 140 kilometers an hour, and you're almost flat out. Bouncing off the curbs. In GP2 it was great, but I imagine in the Formula 1 car it's going to be even more hairy. And then coming into Rascasse, the last corner, it's one of the most famous corners, I think, in all Formula 1 circuits. And it's always a challenge, and I know that this year it will be very interesting. As a Vodafone McLaren Mercedes driver, it's just going to be completely different. Obviously all eyes are on you, and all the glitz and glamour, you get involved in that. So I think what's going to be important is to try to focus and pull yourself away from that and focus on the job you have to do, and then obviously enjoy it afterwards, after the weekend.
The Grand Prix in Monaco this year is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to be very interesting to see how the Vodafone McLaren Mercedes will do here this year. And the race, I think there's going to be some surprises.
And what those surprises will be for Lewis Hamilton and the Vodafone McLaren Mercedes team at the 2007 Monaco Grand Prix, only time will tell.